Walmart is about to be slammed by the Trump administration, and how do I know that? Well, they're admitting that their prices are gonna have to go up for the obvious reason: the tariffs that Donald Trump has needlessly put into effect. And so they're warning people in advance that prices are gonna rise. It goes all the way to the top. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon said to analysts on an earnings call, "We will do our best to keep our prices as low as possible, but given the magnitude of the tariffs, even at the reduced levels announced this week, we aren't able to absorb all the pressure given the reality of narrow retail margins." And Walmart said that the price hikes will begin later this month. It wasn't just the CEO, by the way. The finance chief, John David Rainey, also doubled down in an interview about this, saying, "I'm concerned that consumer is going to start seeing higher prices. You'll begin to see that likely toward the tail end of this month, and then certainly much more in June." Much more. Now look, I don't know if that means that the price hikes will become significantly higher or way more products will have price hikes at all, but it's sounding like the next 2 months are gonna be really rough. And let's bear this in mind. Some of you may not use Walmart. It's a big corporation. I understand that our viewership probably tries to avoid Walmart, Amazon, that sort of thing. But it's also like, in some places, it's the only place to buy stuff in some areas. They've already killed all the mom and pop places. And so for millions and millions of Americans, these price hikes aren't a thing that you can avoid by going somewhere else. It's literally just, you have to pay it. And so you're effectively taking a big pay cut. And that's this month. It's gonna be even worse next month. And bear in mind, they're saying that's from the current remaining tariffs. So remember, Donald Trump did not go hog wild with the tariffs and then back off all the way. He backed off most of the way, but we still have tariffs of 10 to 30% on many of these different countries, in particular China, which makes many of the products sold at Walmart. And I told you when he did his little humiliation day announcement, that it's still gonna hurt people, and now they're confirming that. And so we can hope maybe that at some point they'll all go away. But even then, how many more months will it take before the prices go down, if they ever go down? And I'll return to that topic in just a sec. But I want to remind everyone that it was the CEOs of companies like Walmart and Target and Home Depot that met with Donald Trump that a lot of people think was one of the main reasons he backed off of the worldwide tariffs that he did. So one of the reasons that I am reporting on this is, my hope is, if enough people hear about this, that Walmart, one of the top highest tier, not necessarily in terms of quality, but in terms of market share, retailers around the country, that people will get freaked out. They'll start putting pressure on their elected representatives. It'll be seen in the polls, and hopefully Donald Trump will back all the way off, and that we can go back to the already relatively terrible position we were in economically before Donald Trump. We'll have to see about that. I don't know. But what I want to add to this is, I have been talking a lot about how tariffs have caused price hikes and will cause, they always do. That's just an indisputable fact. I don't care what Donald Trump says. I don't care what Besant pretends to believe all of a sudden that he's never believed before. But we're also not gonna forget what happened over the last 4 or 5 years back during the pandemic. They jack up the price when they can. They price gouge when they can. Now, it's hard to do that over the past couple of years because things are so bad and people are really suffering. To hit them then, super unpopular. But what if you had cover? What if you had a time where prices necessarily had to go up some amount because of the tariffs, and it's hitting all these big places, Walmart, Target, Home Depot, everybody's raising their prices? Well then, what are you gonna do if you're Walmart? Are you gonna raise prices exactly as much as you have to maintain the same profit level, and that's it? Or are you gonna raise your prices as much as you can, as much as you're allowed to, in a time when people know prices are going up? And so this is what I have always talked about. It is a very convenient thing for the right to provide this cover for retailers, where it'll seem reasonable that prices are going up, and maybe we'll stay even if the tariffs go down. But even if not, prices will inevitably be higher than they need to be. I don't like giving that cover to corporations, and that's what Donald Trump has done.